Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're going to get into some more Premier Cup Go Battle League battles. I know, I've jumped on the Premier Cup hype train in the bandwagon, and I've been doing specifically content on Premier Cup while Master League is also still going around. I have been seeing the comments requesting Master League, and I just want to show my support that I appreciate you guys for still supporting me through the Premier Cup videos. And I will be getting to some Master League videos very soon too. There's just been a couple issues. It's now one issue. The first one was Dialga, which is finished and taken care of. The second one is Groudon, because when I went to go do a Master League set for you guys, because I had intentions of doing a Master League video, I didn't have the third move bought, and that was a problem. So once I get the candies for the Groudon, and now you already know 2/3 of the team, once I get the candies for it and it's made, I will do a Master League video for you guys, I promise. There will be Master League content, just not right this moment, so please be patient with me. I appreciate your support through all this. For today's video though, I have an awesome set that was submitted to me that I'm going to shoutcast for you guys. It was submitted by a subscriber and a YouTuber that's just kind of starting off his YouTube channel. His name is TeamRocketRowan. I'm going to leave his link in the description if you want to check out his channel. And he put together a nice set with a team of Gyarados, Metagross, and Machamp. And I want to talk about it. I like the use of Gyarados as a lead. I like the use of Machamp as a potential safe swap, whatnot. Maybe the Metagross. Got to watch the battle, see how he uses the team. And then of course you got to have your Metagross, just to kind of like stabilize the team. But 2/3 of it, I like what I'm seeing, a little bit off meta, even though Gyarados is getting pretty popular. So let me not call it off meta, it is being used. Let me correct myself. But I am excited to get into these battles and shoutcast them for you guys. Also, as we jump into these battles, guys, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been noticing a nice little bump in the channel. I really do appreciate all your support. So keep in mind, these are some rank 8 battles. I like the team he's put together, but the main goal when I shoutcast is to go over the strengths and weaknesses of the team, see how viable it is, especially because it is rank 8. It's a little bit lower. I hope that when we watch through these battles, we'll see a potential team that could be used at the rank 9, rank 10 level, and then we'll see maybe where he made some really good plays, or maybe made a mistake here or there, or his opponent made a mistake that we can hopefully go over. So in this first match, he had a Gyarados lead on Machamp, and it's important to take note what his quick move is. He's running Waterfall as a quick move, because right off the bat, I kind of noticed his team looked a little weak to Togekiss. Yeah, he's got the main counter for Togekiss in Metagross, but Machamp is going to take super effective damage from it, and Gyarados doesn't take super effective damage, but Charm hurts it a lot. So it's important that he has Waterfall so we can at least deal damage to those Togekisses, as we saw one there. He pulls a swap, and honestly that wasn't really something I would have recommended, because now he gets his Metagross stuck and counter swapped while he has 2 Pokemon in the back that are pretty weak. He's also used both of his shields here, whereas opponent still has 2 shields. So he can get off this Meteor Mash. It does get 1 of his opponent's shields, but his opponent, if he really wanted to be greedy, could commit to the Mud Slap down and just use both shields, which is what it looks like is going to happen. Now, a potential play here is to bring the Gyarados back in, get a charge move off, and I don't know who wins CMP. If Gyarados wins CMP, he can hit his opponent's Rhyperior, waste all the energy it built up from completely farming down his Metagross. So he doesn't do that. He decides to bring in the Machamp. Rock Wrecker would be resisted as strong of a move as it is. The Machamp's fighting type would resist it, but his opponent goes for an Earthquake, and that Earthquake hurt a lot. I'm actually surprised to see, well, I mean, it depends. I don't know what the other charge move was, but I'm a little surprised to see Earthquake, because if you're running Earthquake and Rock Wrecker, that's not the easiest. So his first match doesn't look too great, unfortunately. He's running Crunch and Outrage, which are both going to be resisted by Togekiss. When you run Waterfall as a quick move, you typically do want to run those charge moves, but in this specific case, it really would have helped him if he was able to run Hydro Pump. But he is going to go for the Crunch, and he's still keeping this pretty close. So let's see how this plays out. He's got the Togekiss really low. He's going to Waterfall. So honestly, I could be wrong here. He seems to have his stuff lined up really well. He had a Machamp with a Cross Chop. Is this going to be enough to take out the Togekiss? While his Machamp only has 1 HP, it takes it out. So I have to swallow my words. Those are some pretty interesting plays that really worked out, and he clutched that match. 1 HP in a dream, baby. So this set is already off to a bang. He won match 1 by the skin of his teeth. His next match is going up against Alexander M27. Very interesting name there. You guys wouldn't understand why never mind. Anyhow, getting into this next match, he's got Gyarados on a Magnezone lead, and he goes for the immediate swap because that's a lost lead for him. Gyarados gets hard-walled by Magnezone, and his opponent matches his Machamp swap in with a Machamp of his own, and he's not shielding the first charge move. So I'm wondering what the right play is here. The fighting moves are going to deal neutral damage back and forth. He's at 2 cross chops here, so one of these might pull a shield. I do think if he goes for both of them, he'd either take out the opposing Machamp or get it low enough to kind of counter it down. His opponent shielded the first one. He's going for a second cross chop here, and this one will most likely go through because the first one was shielded. It goes through. He's behind on health though, so it looks like he's probably going to get countered down, and then the Machamp, his opponent's Machamp, is going to survive with a little bit of HP. So I'm wondering what his next play is. He does have shield advantage, which in Master League, especially Premier Cup, I'm noticing is extremely crucial. So even though he didn't get switch advantage, having shield advantage right now is a big deal. He's going to let this Rock Slide go through. The play was definitely cross shot by the Machamp. As you saw there, Rock Slide's resisted. Cross shot would have dealt neutral damage because even though Metagross is Psychic, has a Steel typing. His opponent brings in a Mamoswine with Mud Slap, and it is tearing apart this Metagross right now, but he's going for a Meteor Mash. This will either take out the Mamoswine or get his opponent's last shields. It gets the last shield. He goes for the smart swap. He's running Waterfall, so that will chunk away at the Mamoswine. His opponent does swap though, but he has both his shields. He hasn't used a single shield, which means even if his opponent baits twice or gets 2 wild charges, this is a mirror shot, yeah, it makes sense his opponent's baiting, he should be able to Waterfall and Crunch and actually take out his opponent's Magnezone. He has so much leeway actually that he is over farming and just going to shield this next mirror shot. He got baited twice, but this Crunch right here, oh, he's getting a little risky. He's chancing it a bit. I understand that 2 charge moves were thrown, but mirror shots are cheap and sparks do charge pretty quick. So I mean, unless you're counting specifically, I don't typically count, so that felt risky to me. He gets a Crunch through though, and now he's just going to be able to, got a Waterfall through. His opponent's going for the charge move. This is most likely an Avalanche. It should take out the Gyarados. It's definitely going to take out the Gyarados. Now the question is, how much health does his Metagross have left? Is he going to be able to bullet punch it down? Wow, these are some close matches. He was able to bullet punch it down before the Mamoswine could Mud Slap him. So he's off to a 2-0 set. Some risky plays here and there, but it was really smart holding on to his shields in this match. In that second match, he lost lead, but he utilized the Machamp switching really well. It also helped that his opponent didn't really have a good counter, or really have a counter for Machamp in the back, since it got matched with a Machamp of his opponents. Interesting. So this is, I guess, kind of what's going to happen. Some of these rank 8 battles, he's going up against a Typhlosion, which is just not something I would necessarily recommend for Premier Cup / Master League play. His opponent swaps in a Dragonite, and as much as he pulled a really great swap there, he must be counting, because that was a really great swap where he's just a top-notch estimator. I got to get on that level of estimating. Caught the Dragon Claw on his Metagross. Really well played, because I was going to recommend he should have swapped right away. Maybe he was thinking about it for a second and then realized, you know, I thought about this too long. Got to catch the move. That's going to be pretty big for him. This should definitely be another Dragon Claw. It's not going to take out the Metagross, but he is shielding to be safe. It is a Dragon Claw. He's going to continue bullet punching. He's at a Meteor Mash, so the question is, how much does he want to over farm? He let his opponent get to another Dragon Claw, but I guess he wants to kind of get to 2 Meteor Mashes, because this Dragon Claw will not take out his Metagross. The Dragon Breaths are still going to take a little while to take him out, so let's see how he decides. He's really, he's very risky, very big risk taker here, right? Over farming a little more than I'm comfortable with, but you know what? It worked out for him last match. He's going for a Meteor Mash, gets the shields. The Meteor Mash would definitely take out the Dragonite at this health. He gets to that next one just before he was going to get Dragon Breath down. So this will either take out the Dragonite or most likely get that second shield. It did get the second shield, and now he's up and he has shield advantage again. So let's see how he decides to play this. He brings the Gyarados back in. The charge move's coming through. This is definitely a Dragon Claw. It's going to hurt Gyarados, but he's still not going to shield it. It's not going to hurt that much, so I don't blame him for that one. The question is he going to try to Waterfall down? They both swap at the same time. His opponent brings in a Metagross, but his Machamp is dealing neutral damage, and his Machamp has a shield advantage. So that's key. He's going to throw this cross chop here, and what I'm assuming his next plan of action is going to be is maybe try to counter down, shield a Meteor Mash. Oh no, he's going, this would have been one of those times where I would have over-farmed. So this Meteor Mash is going to come through. It's definitely going to shield it. Unfortunately, I think he tried to get the cross chop in to make his opponent waste the energy, so he got forced into a CMP tie because he thought maybe he could beat the Metagross to the Meteor Mash, which is understandable. It was definitely a close race. This will not take out the Metagross, but now he can counter it down and get with lag for a second, and get some energy. So the question is, do we see the Typhlosion come back out? So the Typhlosion can kind of go to work if it gets to the Blast Burn before he gets to the Rock Slide. He beats the Typhlosion to the charge move. That's huge also. This Rock Slide is going to deal super effective damage. Typhlosion doesn't max out high. It takes out the rest of its health, which makes sense. He goes for the immediate swap. Great play. It looked like the waterfall still kind of went through because of like an overtap type thing. But he gets his Dragon Claw off. This will take out the remaining health of the Dragonite. And he's off to a 3-0 set. He's made some really good plays. Did he lose this lead? I can't remember off the top of my head. What was it? Gyarados on Typhlosion. So no, he won that lead, but still played it really well. Out of this set so far, even though they're rank 8 battles, definitely seen some very high level gameplay from TeamRocketRowan. The only weird Pokemon we've really seen is Typhlosion. I do believe that Mamoswine has its play even at the higher levels. Interestingly enough, we got another Mamoswine here. It's a great lead for him because his Gyarados is running Waterfall. Now he's getting some lag though. I don't know why he swapped. I know it's Powder Snow, but the Powder Snows would have been neutral. The Waterfalls would have been super effective. I don't know if he necessarily had to switch, or he definitely could have played it out somewhat. He didn't have to switch right away. And that lag definitely hurt. His Machamp definitely just got hurt. His opponent swaps in a Togekiss, and this match is not off to the most ideal start. At least he can bring in the Metagross here and essentially commit to a bullet punch down of the Togekiss if he wants to give up one shield. If he doesn't want to give up a shield at all, he can go straight for the Meteor Mash. But his opponent's already getting to a charge move. It was pretty quick. I don't blame him for not shielding. That felt pretty quick. It ends up being an Ancient Power, so great call on his part. I don't know if I would have gotten that risky though. As much as it was a great call, I don't count, I estimate, so sometimes I'm like, you know what, with how laggy the game can be, you might miss a charm here and there, but that was definitely a great call on his part. Now his Metagross is fully loaded, and his opponent matches with a Metagross of his own, because the Meteor Mashes from Metagross would deal super effective damage to the Mamoswine. So let's see if this Earthquake goes through. He's not even trying to bait, I don't blame him. It gets shielded, unfortunately, but honestly, he should be able to get to another Earthquake if he uses a shield. Instead, he pulls a swap. Now, this is an Earthquake. This would work out beautifully, but Gyarados still can tank its fair share of Meteor Mashes. This ends up being a Meteor Mash, tanks it pretty well, and now he's going to Waterfall chunk at this Metagross. So now, honestly, this is working out pretty nice for him. Even though they CMP tied, he has shield advantage, so he can definitely shield up this Meteor Mash here. Okay, he did. I was getting a little worried how much riskier he was going to get. And he can overfarm, which I don't blame him, and then he's probably going to go for the crunch momentarily to either get that last shield or take out the Metagross. He's getting real risky again, but he's shielding. He's gotten risky in those last 3 matches, and they paid off for him. So now he's down a shield, unfortunately, but he's really committing to, I'm assuming, assuming a farm down. Those bullet punches were also getting concerning. I think the Gyarados is in the red. This crunch should definitely take out the Metagross, but so yeah, it'll definitely take it out. I was like, it's not going to get the shield, considering how low the Metagross is. Mamoswine comes back out. He has another crunch ready. This will definitely get the shield because Mamoswine's really glassy. And then he's going to switch back into Metagross, go for the Earthquake. He really just needed to go for the Meteor Mash. That would have been super effective. Is Earthquake super effective against Mamoswine? I'm going to learn right now. It's not, but it did pretty much enough to take out the Mamoswine. And he wins game number 4 there. So out of all the matches, that last match probably had the most worried in the beginning with the gameplay. I don't think he really needed to swap out of the Gyarados Mamoswine matchup because he has Waterfall, so I'll definitely have to double check that sim. And then when he swapped in Machamp, it kind of just got sacked. But either way, he's 4-0, getting into the 5th match. He's got a Gyarados on a Heracross. You know what? I've seen a Heracross up around that rank 9 level, so I don't think this is too off the meta. I do think Heracross has some solid play against certain meta-type Pokemon, definitely Magnezone and Metagross, but either way, here he has a good matchup with his Gyarados because all the charge moves from Heracross are going to be resisted as much as Gyarados is glassy, and that Mega Horn's still hurt. So he's Waterfall chunking away. I wonder if he's going to just commit to a complete Waterfall down and then just give up the 1 shield. It looks like that's what he's planning to do here. He's going to give up the shield, but he's going to be loaded on energy. So whatever comes in from his opponent is essentially gonna have to shield because he has 2 crunches. Unless he's got like a Togekiss, feel like I jinxed that even though these were pre-recorded battles. But he made a good swap there. I don't blame him for doing that because you don't want to waste all that energy on the Togekiss. Rather save it for later. I'm surprised his opponent is keeping in the Togekiss though. This is telling me that either opponent doesn't really know better, or his opponent just brought a team that is not ready to deal with Metagross because Heracross was his only Metagross counter. So that charge one goes through. He's getting risky again by not shielding that, but again, he's probably counting because he's been calling some really good moves and pulling some really good swaps and whatnot. And the last Pokemon is, I missed it. He's going for the Meteor Mash now. So let's see if this was the play or not. I don't know what the last Pokemon is, but he's full on energy. Oh, it's another Metagross. So because his opponent has 2 shields, he was going for the Meteor Mash to essentially try to get one of the shields. And in this case, I do think just kind of spamming it, whether you get the shields or not, it's going to get the Metagross low enough. And he has a Machamp in the back. Also, his opponent's not going to be able to commit to a full bullet punch down if his opponent wants to. Because what he can do is what he's exactly going to do. Throw this Meteor Mash, get the last shield from his opponent, and then he's most likely going to swap into either Gyarados or Machamp because both of them have more than enough to deal with this Metagross. So he's sitting pretty nice. He could have gone to Gyarados and just threw the Crunch and finished off the Metagross, but he brings in the Machamp instead, lets the Machamp eat a poor Meteor Mash that he could have used the shield for, but he looks like he's one shield flexing on his opponent at this point because this Cross Chop is going to take out the Metagross and win him this match. It sure did. That was some solid play. He chunked down that Heracross in the beginning and then made the swap in against the Togekiss. I do think his opponent made a mistake there though. Definitely should have brought in his own Metagross there instead of leaving in the Togekiss to just get absolutely slaughtered. So aside from his one opponent's big mistake of leaving in the Togekiss, those matches were played out really well. TeamRocketRowan had some really nice moves, some really risky play that had me stressed just watching. Makes for great content though, so I appreciate you submitting the battles. And I do think this team can have some play at the higher ranks, possibly in rank 9. I don't think there's too many obvious holes, because obviously I mentioned the Charmer one, but outside of that, he pretty much covers. I guess Dragonite could be one. We didn't see too many Dragonites. His main counter for that is also Metagross. If he goes up against opposing Metagrosses, almost all his Pokemon kind of counter them. Machamp doesn't really counter. I feel like that's like more of an even matchup. But Gyarados definitely does, and then Metagross, again, that's a pretty even matchup. So you feel pretty comfortable against other Metagrosses. What else does a meta consist of? We talked about Togekiss. We talked about Dragonite. If he went up against a Garchomp, Gyarados would do pretty well against it, even with Waterfall. Metagross, not so well, but Machamp can land those cross chops and do pretty well against it. So overall, I do think this team has its matchups against the meta. Outside of Togekiss, I can't think of any other obvious weaknesses, and he does have Metagross to deal with it. TeamRocketRowan, I appreciate you for submitting these battles. Again, his link's in the description if you want to check out his YouTube channel. Definitely catch up on some more good content there. Other than that, guys, let me know what you thought of the team. If you want to submit me some battles, whether they be rank 8, rank 9, or even rank 10, I know some of us are getting there. I'm still working on getting there. I think it's key, even rank 7, we can learn from each of those ranks battles, because not all of us are necessarily at the same level, and sometimes something that can be used down there can definitely be replicated above, as I think we've kind of seen with this team. Let me know what you think. Don't forget, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.